Hi everyone, welcome to this week's astrology and pick a crystal reading for you. So this is for the week of May 4th through to May 10th, 2020. The crystals that we have this week before I get into the astrology are a clear quartz point, quite a large one there. And see what you're drawn to for your card of your messages. There's 3 cards for each crystal. This is a beautiful Amethyst Tower. This one is Labradorite Tower with some little flashes in there. Can't really see them at the moment, sadly. Tiny bit. And the last one is a beautiful rose quartz slab. So 1, 2, 3, or 4. And just go by what you're intuitively drawn to rather than which one you think is the prettiest. And I will talk about the astrology. So the big news this week is we have a full moon in the sign of Scorpio coming up, and this is a super moon. So it's the last super moon of this year for 2020, and obviously not the last full moon, but the last super moon, which means it's like, you know, its proximity to the earth at its fullness. It, you know, makes it look larger when you look at the moon. So it's quite a powerful full moon. Scorpio for the moon is very emotional. It's very sensitive. It's very psychic. And it's really, you know, this energy can be, especially given that it's a full moon, can be about surrender, but it can also be about intensity. It can be about endings and new beginnings. It can be about transformation. So, you know, how you feel at this time will depend a lot on your own personal chart and where the transiting moon in Scorpio is. If you know your chart, look to where you have Scorpio, what house you have Scorpio in your chart, and you'll see where the transiting moon is. So it's going to make a positive trine aspect with Neptune in Pisces. So it's going to have quite a spiritual quality to it and quite a mystical and I would say quite deep emotions are going to be felt for a lot of people this week. And this full moon actually happens on the 7th, so in several days from now. So you probably could already be feeling some emotional issues coming up. With Scorpio, it's deep emotions coming up to the surface to be acknowledged and to be dealt with. With Scorpio, it's a very powerful energy, so sometimes people can, you know, for example, people that have a Scorpio moon can sometimes keep their emotions under a tight control because they don't want to feel all the different, you know, tumultuous feelings in there. That's not what I would advise for this energy. It's better to get it out. So, you know, write about it, talk to someone that you trust. You know, do some kind of, you know, if you're into doing some kind of rituals or even self-care ritual, something that just helps you feel in touch with the energy that needs to be felt, whatever that is. And it's definitely a releasing energy, I feel. But as I said, it's a positive angle to Neptune here, which can help it be more of a spiritual moon with a deep psychic level of awareness to it. So you may have more psychic dreams around this time or more spiritual experiences. Look, the moon in Scorpio is difficult, especially natally. If you have this as your, you know, your natal moon, it's a very raw, emotional experience to have a moon in Scorpio, and you can tend to feel like it's better to be in control of your emotions and let them control you type thing. So it can be even that with this full moon. If you're someone who's got a lot of Scorpio in your chart, you may feel that way. You may feel like, oh, what do I do with these emotions? So that's why I suggested, you know, writing or talking to someone that you trust, getting your emotions out. It can be where you need to express something to someone and just let it out because, you know, Scorpio energy can be about purging things out, you know, sort of cleansing out the heaviness and bringing it to the surface so that you can feel clearer and understand your emotions better. So it can be quite intense, this full moon, and quite emotional for some people. It can have even a bit of a darker sort of quality to it, even though it does make a trine with Neptune. For some people, it might have these kind of broody, deeper, sort of emotional, difficult emotions to deal with as well. But either way, it is some kind of turning point and very likely a time for a lot of people to let go, surrender to what is meant to occur for you next emotionally in your life. And it definitely feels like it has the word endings associated with it for a lot of people, especially in particular if there's been something in your life that's been dragging on for a long time that feels very negative to you, or feels restrictive, or feels like it's controlling you. Then you may feel like you need to take your power back in your own life with this, with this energy. Also on Wednesday, there is a big shift with the transiting North Node after 2 odd years coming out of the Cancer Capricorn polarity, and it's the North Node's moving into Gemini. So I think that's very interesting. With the North Node moving into Gemini, we'll feel more in touch with our minds and our thinking, rather than with Cancer, it was very much attached to the old kind of familiar comfort zones, and very emotional, like processing a lot of emotional issues and a lot of emotional things. Now that the North Node will be in Gemini, there's going to be more of a focus for the next couple of years up to this North Node in Gemini lasts till January 2022. So yeah, definitely a couple of years at least. So Gemini is about the mind. It's about learning, communication, connection in your own local area, in your community, short trips, and interactions in your daily life, your daily way of living. And so it can bring about a little bit of a restless energy and a need for change as well, and a need to be able to move about to explore your life, whether it's mentally explore or even, physically travel around. And it's ironic saying that, given that, most of us are still, under restrictions, or in Australia here with COVID issues, where they are starting to slightly ease the restrictions because our cases in Australia are quite low, according to reports, in inverted commas. So yeah, it could definitely get people feeling very restless as that North Node tips into Gemini on Wednesday. And we could see a lot more stuff happening with regards to social media, communications, information sharing. It could go to a different level. In your own personal life, communication is going to be important. Have a look at where you have Gemini if you know your chart, to see where that North Node is transiting through for you personally. Okay, and Friday and the weekend, we have the Sun sextile to Neptune, so that's quite a nice energy between 19 to 20 degrees of earth and water. So if you have anything around 19 to 20 degrees, in particular of Taurus or Pisces, but for everybody, you'll feel this as a gentle, positive energy, where the wave feels like it's starting to be gently moved forward in general with the collective energy. So, as I said, the big news this week is that full moon in Scorpio, a very transformational, powerful and emotional full moon. So, let's have a look at the messages of the cards. And if you'd like to book a reading with me, go to my online store, which is, the link will be below this video. And please be aware that the turnaround time at the moment is at least 7 to 13 business days, because I'm quite booked up at the moment. But I'm still taking orders. So as I said, if you'd like one, you can go to the link below. So this is for the clear quartz. Okay. All right. So we have wisdom number 22. The 9 of Cups. Wow. I really like that. And balance. Interesting. The balance card makes me think of Libra energy straight away. Even this figure, there's a very Libran kind of quality with the focus on the cultural fashion, something about that being very, the geisha here, very sort of soft feminine energy, and very aware of social graces and social cues and things like that. So it says light and dark, so kind of yin yang energy there with the 9 of Cups and the wisdom card. Wow. This is very much speaking to me about relationship energy, I feel, very strongly here. If you're a Libra, or if you know someone that's a Libra, there may be a special message in that for you about balancing the energy in your relationships at the moment, or that you're needing to use the wisdom that you've gained. And look, she's standing on all the books there to get to something that you really want here with the 9 of Cups. And it's almost like, because you're using your innate wisdom, which is coming from your intuition, and you're able to balance the energies out here within yourself, you're actually attracting really positive outcomes in a relationship situation, or within some kind of connection with somebody. But it's also in relation to fulfilling your personal wishes. So it's like you've learned to balance something within yourself in a way that's bringing you much more serenity, I feel. I feel really positive energy with this, especially with that Nine of Cups there. And there's such a feeling of fulfillment that I'm getting with this. And the Nine of Cups is a card of wish fulfilled. So if you've picked the crystal, the clear quartz crystal this week, there is something very positive for you this week with regards to your relationships, I feel, or with a relationship. And there is the potential for you to fulfill some kind of wish. You're in the process of doing that at the moment. That's what I feel for the clear quartz message. Okay, let's move on. That was kind of short and sweet. Let's get to the Amethyst Tower. So, oh, very different energy. Darkness, the Five of Swords, and forgiveness. Wow. Oh, it's a bit heavy, isn't it? Okay. So the Darkness card with the Five of Swords together seems to suggest that if you've chosen this, either you've already had something recently where there was some difficulty with another person, or some kind of clash or problem with somebody. Could have been, you could be male and it could have been with a female, or there could have been, or it could be vice versa. But the Five of Swords is also a card of very stubborn energy, arguments, disagreements, very ego-based, combative, cerebral energy, argumentative energy. This could have been with someone that you live with because of the 4 here, which makes me think of the 4th house in astrology for some people, or it could have been in a relationship for other people. There's a rabbit and an owl and a deer here, which I just want to mention because they may be connected to certain animal totems for some people, or just for a couple of people. The rabbit here symbolizes intuition, but also kind of reacting out of fear in one way, and someone potentially around you who's been reacting out of fear, which also comes to this card as well, the Five of Swords, which, as I said, it's a card of arguments, disagreements, ego clashes, and someone trying to dominate a situation. Okay, this card has more of a softer energy, and obviously there's a softness in the message here. Forgiveness is compassion and kindness. So there may be a situation where you have to look at things from a different perspective with regards to a connection. It could be, a family member, it could be someone you live with, a relationship. But in this forgiveness card, there's a lot of wisdom here. So it's about seeing things from a different perspective and getting out of just the detail of an argument or the detail of an issue that's come up, and actually looking at the big picture a little bit more to be able to release the tension through being able to forgive yourself and the other person. And that's going to come through a perspective shift. That's what I'm getting. The Darkness card does say with this Five of Swords that, if you've chosen this card, you may have been through a bit of a difficult emotional time recently where you felt a little bit of struggle going on, or you felt a little bit hopeless in some way. But it is in regards to other people because of this forgiveness card. So also, I am also getting for maybe 1 or 2 people, you need to also forgive yourself here, because you may have put a lot of expectations on yourself that were either somewhat unrealistic, or expectations on a situation that maybe put a lot of pressure on yourself and other people. But I heard the word resolving, so I do feel that this is in the process of resolving, though it's been a difficult time for you. But I feel like with this card there is a feeling of hope and resolution to some kind of difficulty that you've been through with another person, or it could even, for some people, be more than one person. There could be a couple of people, even a family situation. There's been some tension or some problems lately that's been quite stressful on you. But as I said, with the forgiveness card, it's like forgiving yourself, seeing things from a higher perspective here with the owl, and having gentleness towards yourself and others, but also strength is what I'm getting there. So quite spiritual messages there. The next one is for the Labradorite. Extremes. Whoa. Nine of Wands and Dance. Wow. Very interesting messages here. More owls here. Lots of owls. Okay, it says let your body move. So interesting. So for whoever's chosen this crystal, there's been a lot of stress around you, and there's a strong energy here to with the root chakra here, the extremes card. You may have felt like your emotions have been going to extremes, or that you've been feeling, highs and lows, that sort of thing. Or it can be you're feeling an intense pull towards one person in particular, but maybe you can't fulfill that. Here we have the Nine of Wands, which is like multiple messages with this one. It's like the Nine of Wands is about perseverance, but also feeling quite sort of beaten around by life, or feeling like you've been through a lot, and things have been difficult in some way. There is a need here to release stress is what I'm getting, because there's a very intense energy here. It's like a lot of build-up of energy in your physical body and in your mind as well, I'm getting. So there's a lot of build-up of stress here, and there's a need to release that stress. And the card that comes through to help you with that is dance. So, you know, dance doesn't have to be strictly dancing as such, though it could be for some people. But I am getting things like yoga, anything that moves the body, and even Tai Chi. The way she's moving quite gracefully there reminds me of Tai Chi. You know, even things like walking, jogging, getting outside, getting fresh air, going for a walk, you know, as long as you can do that where you live, which most places, as far as I know, I mean, I don't know all the issues going on, but I know in most places you can go for exercise on your own with another person. So there, I mean, and you can even exercise inside. You can do yoga, dancing, put the music on, and sort of shift your energy out of this sort of very heavy, intense, sort of a little bit of a brooding, passionate energy here, or maybe an unfulfilled longing here. And there's this need to sort of kind of persevere, but not in a forceful manner, in a gentle manner, through your situation at the moment. But doing something nice for yourself, a creative energy here with the dance card is being suggested. That is something to do with body movement and looking after your body to help you feel a release of those positive endorphins so that you can feel a bit better. This is the rose quartz. This is the last one. Let's see what we've got here. Queen of Wands, happiness and gratitude. Wow, it's beautiful. Really nice energy here. Another rabbit shows up. There's a very fertile energy here in the happiness card. And I mean, that can be fertility as in, you know, pregnancy, or, you know, child rearing type energy. A strong maternal energy comes through with that. But there's also an abundance coming through. So it kind of reminds me of Demeter in Greek mythology or Greco-Roman mythology, and something about the harvest. So there's could be money coming in if you've chosen this week for you. There could be, you know, if you have your own business, or if you're working, you could be doing well financially, or pretty decently. It is an energy of, with the gratitude card, being very grateful for the good things in your life at this time is very important, and for the support that you have around you, because there is support around you, so that's lovely. I heard the word friendship, so there might be something to do with a friendship, or someone who is a friend to you, who's being supportive to you, possibly through a bit of a challenging time. The Queen of Wands shows very creative energy around you this week if you chose the rose quartz, and I'm hearing the words think creatively. So whatever that means for you, you might be thinking creatively in your own home, like doing some redecorating in your home, or changing things up to do with work or home, or, you know, the way you live your life daily, doing something different to sort of mix up the energy and inspire and bring a bit of inspiration is what I'm getting, especially with these two cards. So also for some people, there's something here about consciously focusing on, you know, maybe at the end of the day, what you were grateful for that happened, and even writing it down, writing down like 3 or 4 things that you were grateful for that happened today, and that will help you bring in more abundance into your life and more positive energy. But overall, I feel like very positive energy with this, very creative energy. Doing something creative here will help you feel more fulfilled during this time. And I also feel there's something for some people with children here, and family comes up. So, you know, something about doing something creative with children for some people. But as I said, there's a very strong fertile and fertility energy here, which can be, you know, on the level of procreation and that sort of thing, but it can also be about just your creativity and ideas, and implementing those ideas into the physical realm, into your life. So yeah, that's what I was getting. So those are the messages this week, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful week, and if you'd like to book a reading, just go to the link below. Thanks. Have a great week all. Bye.